So when you're building a startup or you're building a business, as much as you want to focus on selling things and getting to market and getting customers, the actual hardest part is delivering stuff to customers. And what's even harder about that is often when you find out that there's an expectation of something to be delivered, but you haven't even built it yet. And then you've got to basically juggle how you're going to solve that problem. So that's been the hard thing about this week, is I've had to change our delivery approach, the business, into something that is a lot more structured and going through a process of what are requirements, prioritizing the requirements, what does the product actually do, what does it partially do, what does it not do, so we need new features done, and then getting that into two channels. One channel is for the normal sort of product delivery, so we do design and discovery, and then it's going to go into the development build cycle. And then the other piece is what we call rapid response, which is basically a dedicated developer working in the delivery team that's fixing bugs or sorting out things or whatever it is. So it's been an interesting challenge. It'll probably take about 2 weeks actually to get to this point, but we're getting there now. So the part that's becoming easier, so in making these changes, which we needed to make, it's become a lot easier to see what people have been working on. Because again, even though you're in a startup and you're dealing with customers and all the rest of it, one of the challenges you have is you got all these people working, but everyone's busy and everyone's hustling because you're a startup. So you're small and you've got to be fast and you're trying to address all these needs and you're trying to do marketing and you're trying to do sales and you're trying to engage with customers and you're trying to solve their problems. And we work with partners, so you're trying to work with partners. So what we've done is we've changed the system of how we work, and it is based on the value methodology. And by having that in place, it's made it very easy to see, or closer and closer to seeing what is actually required, what needs to be delivered when, and who's on the hook to deliver it. What we haven't got right yet, and this will come now that we've got the bases in place, is what's the value of doing the work? And that value can either be a risk reduction or a cost save or a productivity gain. For us, it's going to be productivity gains. We can do this faster. We do this faster and it costs less. Not actually cost less for the customers because we're still doing it a pretty good deal for the customers, but it will cost less time for us to do it, which means we can deliver value faster. And that's the most important thing to a customer, relationship, is to deliver value often and fast. So the lesson, there's actually a few lessons this week. So the one lesson is when you're taking down the order for what the customer wants, is you write down everything. And you make that knowledge available to everyone in the team. So you don't hold anything in your head. You make sure it's out there. We use a Moscow approach, which is must have, should have, could have, or won't have. So every requirement comes in, it goes through that process first, and then it gets triaged for how it fits the product. And the hard thing about this week is we found out there was a requirement we didn't cover. It was assumed you would just do it, and assumptions never end well. So the lesson is to write it all down, be transparent. We also meet every day and discuss it. So there's a constant re-looking at the same things over and over again. And even you'd think if you're seeing the same thing over and over again, you'd have the same answers every day, but you don't. They tend to evolve. And that's because someone's spoken to the customer, someone's spoken to a partner, and the information's changed. So there's two lessons. The one lesson is write it all down and store it centrally. And the second lesson or third lesson, depending on how you count that, is that you need to communicate regularly and be structured. So, and how do we bring the structure? We have it on a board, which is in our product, and we can see what there is to be seen, and we go through it on a daily basis.